I was groomed by a brony as a teenager, and adults did nothing about it. This situation and discussion includes extremely mature conversations, themes, and pictures. This video is not for younger children or audiences, despite it mentioning the Hasbro show, My Little Pony, and their well-known following, the Bronies. I will not be using my real name in this, even though I'm sure it is super easy to find. Really scared to talk about this situation and what happened. I'm embarrassed, and I'm ashamed of myself. I was 16 years old when this happened, and even though it's been years since it's happened, this brony is still in this community. They're still very high on the moral ground. I don't know what to call it, but they're still in these Facebook groups, DeviantArt groups, these groups that are basically everywhere on social media for bronies, going to cons and interacting with the fandom in its entirety. And I'm deciding to speak up about it now because I feel like I finally have the courage to do so, as well as I have talked to some people about this situation, and shockingly enough, I decided to ask them if they thought this was a normal or okay situation because I didn't really know. And several bronies told me it was normal and that I shouldn't even worry about it. But when I asked people who weren't a brony or were just, a friend of mine, they said that this entire situation, and I quote, was fucked up and illegal. So, sorry, not sorry, but I'm dragging you bronies right now because why would you tell someone this situation was okay? Because it wasn't, and I feel like that's almost like a silencing tactic to get someone to not speak up about a pedophile. I don't know what it's called for someone who's attracted to someone above the, but whatever, it's essentially the same thing. But someone who is grooming a minor, and to kind of keep them silenced because you're worried about how this will affect your community, but not a human being. So, sorry, I'm dragging this out. I'm really nervous to talk about this, and I'm just trying to get what happened to me out there, because apparently this is becoming more and more common within this community, and it's not okay, especially with how much people are hiding it. So I'm just gonna try to get this over with and go through what happened. So the brony I am speaking about is Reese, or as you may know them, Final Verse. And as I said, I've been really nervous to speak about this because Reese has a lot of connections or friends that are popular or have a lot of influence on the brony community, or at least he claims to know them and interact with them. Sorry. Final Verse, or Reese, took advantage of me when I was 16 years old while he was over the age of 23. He exploited me for pictures, videos, gifts, and My Little Pony artwork. He also blackmailed me and threatened he would send them to other people if I tried to leave the situation or didn't do what he wanted. There is also evidence he has blackmailed another person in the community before me. So he would try to get me to do these things I wasn't comfortable with, and made verbally clear to him I wasn't comfortable with in Skype calls or Discord calls or Facebook calls that we would have. And he would try to get me to do something called, this is extremely inappropriate, I'm so sorry, and it's kind of graphic, urethral sounding is what it is called. If you don't know what that is, urethral sounding, or just sounding, is the medical use of probes called sounds to increase the inner diameter of the urethra. Or it is also used to stretch the urethra to give piercings or for sexual gratification. And if I didn't do this thing, he would threaten again to blackmail me or quote unquote punish me. And he continued to try to push me to do this at the age of 16 while he recorded, watched, or had me send him videos. He ended up actually sending extremely explicit GIFs of me to another brony and to a quote-unquote pet group, which I was also a part of, so I saw that he sent it. And as this whole thing went on, Reese kept trying to make me think I was a dog. He would send me quizzes, question me about it, and try to convince me I was a dog. He even got another woman involved with this who was above the age of 21 in to convince me I was a dog. And, I can already see or think about comments that will say, well, why didn't you just say you weren't that? Well, let me remind you again, I was 16, blackmailed, and other adults who knew what was going on said and acted like this was normal. And there was a whole group of adult bronies called the Pet Group who also encouraged this and were a part of it and even wanted to help Reese partake in this. I had several times where one of these pets would try to get me to video call with them because Final spoke about what I did, and as I said just not even seconds ago, he sent videos and GIFs of me to this chat. And there's a lot more that happened, and it's really hard to keep talking about this. So I'm just going to go through the evidence I have, and I'm going to talk about it.
You're so cool, walking down the hall. Wild eyes, they are black like the magic 8 ball. You got guns for trophies.